3. Hey everyone, welcome back to another video, and on today's video I'm going to be breaking down how you can find the perfect market for wholesaling real estate. So what I have here, I actually have some notes. I use this app called Notability, and I go ahead and make a lot of notes, and I take a lot of notes in every single course that I've ever purchased for wholesaling. And I do have these nice notes that I wrote, so I'm going to go ahead and share those with you today about the recommended states and the states that are not so easy to get into for beginners. So let me go ahead and pull up the screen right here. Take a look, everyone. Okay, here we are, guys. So let me just stick with this note right here. So yeah, I have a bunch of notes here for wholesaling, and this is one that I really wanted to share with you guys. So everyone that's coming into wholesaling, I know there's a large amount of people coming into wholesaling, and I mean, that's awesome, great. Everyone's trying to get financial freedom, but people are struggling with trying to pick their markets. And today I'm going to share some tips. I'm also going to share, the recommended states and the states that you should be avoiding. So let's get right into it, guys. Now, so the states you should be avoiding, in my personal opinion, as a beginner, should be California, because it's very competitive and the market values are very drastically different. So that could be a problem for you, especially since you're comping. It might discourage you a little bit too, because the prices are just so different and you're not used to comping, and it's just going to be a mess. Not saying that you won't succeed, just saying that as a beginner, it's not going to be, there's just better markets out there, especially if you're doing virtual. So why not pick something that's going to go a little bit more smoother than something that's already kind of competitive and a little bit difficult. I just see it as not really worth it. There's other states to be making money at. So California, not really good market for a beginner. If you're already in these markets, good for you, but this is for beginners. Beginners, guys, try to avoid these markets, guys. So avoid California, avoid New York. Because, attorneys, they have large deposits, and you don't really have money to start with, and you're trying to wholesale to make cash. I can see how it's a little bit difficult, especially in New York. You have these large deposits and work with a lot of attorneys. It's a little bit more strict. So I kind of just avoid that market. Ohio is a little bit stricter. I did make an error here. Let me just erase this. Ohio's a little bit stricter when it comes to stricter around wholesaling. So I really wouldn't recommend Ohio. It's a little bit more of a hassle to go through. I wouldn't recommend Utah. Oklahoma has a bill around wholesaling already. Illinois, you need a license. So California, New York, Ohio, Utah, Oklahoma, and Illinois. In my personal opinion, as a beginner wholesaler, just avoid these states. There's definitely better states that you can just look into, so just avoid these in the future. When you have some experience, definitely go into it. I'm not saying that you can't go into Illinois and get a license. All I'm saying is that as a beginner, you don't really have money, so you're trying to make money. I recommend going with different states so you can just get it done a little bit smoother and not have to get a license or go through these bills or try to figure out all these kind of regulations and stuff. So avoid these markets and just stick with the ones that are recommended below. Okay, so now we're here with the recommended states. The states that I would recommend are all these states here: Texas, Florida, Pennsylvania, Georgia, North Carolina, Massachusetts, Tennessee, Indiana, Colorado, Minnesota, Tennessee, Michigan, New Jersey, Virginia, Washington, Arizona, Missouri, Maryland, Wisconsin, South Carolina, and Kentucky. Okay, so those are the recommended states. Now, before you go crazy on the internet, on PropStream, pulling all these massive lists with all these 4 or 5 different states, I just want to let you guys know that's a big mistake. In my personal opinion, it's always better to pick one market, one state, and put your magnifying glass over it and just zoom in, stare at it, and create a flame. What that means is, don't pick so many states. It's going to get very complicated for you. I recommend that you pick one state. Either pick a few cities or a few counties in that state and work with those, build massive lists, very motivated lists, using just the cities or a couple cities within the states. I don't recommend you target 3, 4, 5 states at a time. It's gonna get expensive, and it's just kind of, you don't need to do that. It's scaling too quickly, in my opinion. So just pick a state. So for instance, if you're doing Tennessee over here, right? Tennessee, you're not going to pick the whole Tennessee, the whole state, right? You're not going to pick the whole state. You're going to pick a city in there. For example, Knoxville is a good market, or Nashville. You could target all of Nashville, all of Knoxville. Let's go Texas, Houston. Like, there's just so many cities in every single state, and just pick one. Pick one, get a motivated list, and target that list. Do not pick a whole bunch of states thinking that it's going to help you succeed faster, because it's not. It's just going to create more stress for you. And at the same time, you want to get to know your markets. So if you're getting into Texas, Houston, or getting into Florida, Miami, Florida, Lauderdale, you want to make sure that you're figuring out the best buyers, you're figuring out the cash buyers, you're figuring out what are the best price ranges to be at, figuring out what are the best zip codes that buyers are looking to put their money into. Find that out. But that's the thing. What I'm saying, if you stick to one state, you're going to be able to learn all of it. You're going to be able to find out, okay, for Texas, specifically Houston, we got these zip codes. The average price of a house, the average sale price of a house is around this. You start to learn your market, and you start to build a skill that would be a little bit harder to build if you were in multiple states, where your numbers are super different here, your numbers are super different here, and super here. It's better to stick with one state and one city, so you can break down the numbers easier and not have so much confusion. So I really hope this video helped you guys out. Pick one of these states, find a city, find a county within one of these states, and market that. Put your magnifying glass over it, create a flame, figure out the best zip codes, and definitely figure out what the average sale price of the homes are going for in that city, so you can get a better idea of where you would kind of need to be at to make it a wholesale deal. So guys, I really appreciate y'all, and I hope that you stay tuned for more videos.